Well, hello there. Thank goodness you're here. Welcome to the first ever Clean Slate Karting video of the channel. I'm Sam, this is Clean Slate Karting. Welcome. Now today we are at TeamSport Bristol for the first time on my cousin Mike's Stag do. That's him in the wonderful pink. Where we're doing the ultimate race experience, which is two 15-minute sessions where quite simply you have to record the fastest lap possible. We're going to start with a bit of housekeeping. I would have posted sooner with some previous races if I could get the right angle for the GoPro mount. But that's in the past. That was part of a slate that was cleaned, so we start at square one, we reset expectations. We wipe the slate clean. And that's exactly why I've called myself Clean Slate Karting. I did have some excellent suggestions from friends, and there's definitely a place for names like Kart in the Wind or Don't Go Breaking My Kart, and many other top quality names did make the shortlist, but Clean Slate Karting came out on top. But without further ado, we're going to pick up session 1 where we're on reds waiting to turn to yellows. Now I've got Mark behind me. Mark is my karting nemesis. Mark is 0.7 seconds faster than any of us at our home TeamSport track at Eastleigh. So the guy knows what he's doing. Now yellows means drive at walking pace, and I've not come across anyone who actually goes that slowly. And then there's kart 1. I'm straying on the outside as they're taking this corner, but Mark sees this as an opportunity and he's straying to the left. And we go green and I put my foot down to get past kart 1, but Mark quickly sees an opportunity on the inside and gets around the corner first. So not a great start. Now we've never done this track before, all we've watched is YouTube clips. It's all about learning this course as soon as possible. So I absolutely full throttle up this ramp, trying to stick to Mark as closely as possible, just trying to copy his line and not make any mistakes. We're catching up to a karter in front of us, and Mark does a very nice overtake round the outside, and I take the inside line as we both make our way down the ramp and now round the pit lane corner. We want to go full throttle down this straight, but we need to ease off the accelerator as we approach this corner because we see Mark go a bit fast into that corner there, and he has a bit of a wobble, which allows me to catch up, but then we're immediately behind a train. There are 17 people on this track, so there's going to be a lot of traffic. I see this very inviting inside line which stops Mark cutting in, and I'm able to overtake two drivers in one corner. Now we're coming up to another train, and I see a little gap on the inside, and I full throttle it, which is what I probably shouldn't have done. What you don't know seeing this is that Mark is right behind me, and all three of us see this space at the same time. Mark gives me a little love tap, and I just put my foot down, trying to get that space first, but sadly fail. Sorry 21. So because of that crash, Mark gets a nice little getaway down the left, and we've got some overtaking to do. I think I tried to do a little switchback here on 21, but 21 defends it well. Mark is off into the distance. So I'm keeping cool, I'm keeping calm, I'm biding my time, knowing that for these next corners, there won't really be any chance of an overtake just yet. And we're on to yellows. So what yellows means is strictly no overtaking, so we're all adhering to the rule, and kart 2 goes for an illegal overtake, that is breaking the law. But they very kindly do realise their mistake and give me the space back. I'm getting a little look there from 21.
I said I was sorry!
I'm looking for any opening I can, so once it turns green I can just put my foot down and try and overtake as soon as possible.
Yellow flag.
And we're on to green, and luckily I get quicker reactions and I'm able to get the inside line and nicely overtake these two drivers. We've got a bit of clean air now, and we haven't yet put in a full lap time without hitting traffic yet. We of course can see those drivers up ahead, but I'm hoping we've all got enough speed to leave each other alone for at least the next 40-ish seconds. We're still very much finding our feet with this track. I'm still not sure on the best lines of some corners, particularly this one, and hitting traffic every lap isn't necessarily helping my cause. It's still early days, but in the back of my mind I'm definitely thinking that I do need to get a lap time in that I feel happy with before the session ends without hitting any yellows or any other go-karters. Like for example, right now. We've done a good job at catching these karters up, but the lap time that we were on, whether it's good or bad, can only get worse with traffic. Even if I make an absolutely world class, if I do say so myself, double overtake on that corner. I'm still trying to control the kart around certain corners, whilst also clearly trying to experiment with less braking round others. For example, we slalom through here. I'm clearly very angry with how I take those corners, and we've got some more traffic up ahead to overtake. I am in full race mode now. I'm not necessarily forgetting that I do need to get a good fast lap in, but I am also getting excited about hunting down the next go-karter in my sights. Now I know I'm coming up to 3 of them, and I know there are 3 of them, but at this point I'm feeling pretty confident about my overtaking abilities, but I'm about to be proven wrong, because kart 4 won't be easy to overtake. Usually I have the pace on this straight, but 4 isn't afraid to put their foot down, and we're about to hit the section where I know I'd be lucky to get any overtaking done. So obviously absolutely no idea what I'm on about there, but we've made it through the S-bends and I'm ready to pounce on any mistake kart 4 might make, but I can't find any opportunity to overtake on that corner.
Okay, we got a race.
So according to Racing Me, we've got a race on. What we can't see here, but what I've just seen, is a go-kart that's very close behind us. So I squirrel around these corners as quickly as I possibly can, but unfortunately I'm leaving an inside gap, and out of nowhere comes our friend Sam. I had no idea that he was that close to me. It took me completely by surprise, and for the second time in this session, I've been overtaken. 4 goes a bit wide on this corner, Sam tries to take the gap, there's a bit of contact, I see the inside line is there for the taking, and...
Oh no!
I get overexcited and spin my kart.
This is very embarrassing. Thank you. That didn't happen.
So that didn't happen, and we're back on greens. The bonus of this spin out is I now have some clean air, and if I can not get stuck behind anyone for the next lap and not mess up any of my corners, then at least we have a decent lap time in the bag. So I'm giving myself a little pep talk because I know what could be coming up is my first green, clean, no traffic, no yellow lap. And I'm starting to get the grips with this track a little bit more, so I feel like without any karters in the way, I could get a really good lap time here. I think I'm in pretty much focus mode at this point, and I really like this corner that I'm doing here. And I'm starting to realise that I can absolutely full throttle this all the way around, easing off a little bit. I think that line was good, I really don't know. I'm just trying to turn every corner, keeping as much grip as possible. Well, you can just hear that I'm not, I don't know, am I happy? Am I sad with that? I really don't know. I come up to kart number 6 and I'm a bit worried that he's going to hold me up, but luckily I managed to get past, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a lap time in the bag, which is great timing because we're back behind kart number 1. Now we already know it's very difficult to overtake on this little S-bend at the bottom, so I'm just going to take my time, but I also know that number 1 seems a bit tentative on putting their foot down, so I can just do that nice little overtake, and we're racing again. I know that this lap will be a slower lap because I was stuck behind traffic a bit, and also it doesn't help that we're on yellows now. Yellows definitely seem to be quite a common theme of session 1. So I'm just sort of reveling in the previous lap that I've been able to do, wondering if anyone else has had a chance to get as good a lap time in. Now the average lap time for Bristol is 43 seconds, and Mark and I have already had a little conversation where we would like to do a sub 40. Sub 40 is the aim of the day. This new lap that we're doing may be slower because we're stuck behind someone here, but unfortunately for them, they spin out. And we're actually going to count that as an overtake. I'm going to put that in the class of skillful overtake. We actually start to spot something in the distance. It's a group of karters, but there seems to be one in particular that's drawing our attention. Someone in a pink race suit. So we go on to yellows, which gives me an opportunity to, maybe a bit cheekily, catch up to the karts in front. Now obviously my lap time for the last lap and this next lap will be hampered by these yellow lights. But to be honest, I've suddenly got a new idea in mind. I'm on a stag do, and I've just spotted the stag. So my new aim is to abandon any lap times whatsoever and get as close as possible to him and ideally overtake the stag. Now the only problem with this plan is number 3 is going a little bit too slowly for my liking on these yellows, and I've already lost the stag. So luckily it goes green right on the corner and I'm able to take that inside line, and I am putting my foot down. I'm on the hunt now. I've got my deerstalker hat on. I am ready to pounce. I can sense that I am in full focus here as I'm drifting around these corners nicely. And unfortunately we're not dealing with a slow stag. Mike's another very good driver who's part of our TeamSport Eastleigh setup, so I know he can drive. Number 2 goes a bit wide and I get the inside line, so I'm able to overtake them. And now I am in full focus mode. I can see Mike is just the other side of the track there, and I just need to put together a really good lap with some really neat corners to get as close as possible to overtaking him. I turn nicely into this bottom ramp corner, and I'm really starting to get a lot of confidence with this track, particularly in certain parts, including and especially this whole loop round at the top here. I noticed that Mike is actually coming up to a bit of traffic, which is definitely going to help me. As I'm coming around this bottom ramp, my eyes are absolutely fixed on what's going on around the other corner, and I can see that Mike has at least 2 back markers that he has to get round. Those back markers have done their job sterlingly, and all of a sudden we're right on this stag's shoulders. I gotta give a shout out to kart number 1 there for just slowing him right down. And we are flat out on the up ramp, still actually trying to get round kart number 1. But then we both find the inside line as kart number 1 goes wide, and the race is on. I think for some reason I've got switchback in my mind for this corner, which I completely mess up, but I managed to stay close, and we're heading down the ramp completely flat out, trying to get a nice inside line and stick as close to that corner as possible. I get very, very close to the back of him, and we're full throttle all the way through here. And I really mess up that corner. Usually I'm pretty good and comfortable at chasing, but I seem to be feeling the pressure here. I don't think he knows that I'm behind him yet as well, and we're on yellows. So we go slowly up here to find out some unfortunate news. That's it. Session 1 is over. I give a thumbs up, but really inside my heart is actually breaking. I would have really enjoyed a few laps racing kart 22. That's me excitedly trying to get my cousin's attention, but failing. I think generally we're both pretty good at the Eastleigh track, and just to catch him up was really fun, and I just felt like maybe with another lap or 2, who knows, I could have overtaken him. But we head on into the pits, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that somewhere in that first session I recorded a sub 40 lap time. So I'll put you out of your misery because, let's face it, most of these names are just all over the shop. I was Karting McGraw, a little previous nickname I gave myself. And first place, leaky undercarriage, that's Mark. Yep, I was 0.162 seconds off Mark. I am of course well aware that that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is we did a sub 40 in our first attempt at Bristol. Just. But we have session 2 coming up, so room for improvement, and with any luck we can get an even faster time. So for some reason, a few others and myself are the first out, and we have to wait for a little bit. And wouldn't you know, guess who's behind me? And guess who gives me a little tap on the back?
You better have insurance!
So after a little wait, we're heading out on yellows, and would you know, we're stuck behind what was kart number 1 but is now kart number 2. So on this little S-bend, we've got the green light and we are away, and we try and get the inside line as quickly as possible. And we know that Mark is constantly hunting behind us like a big old shark, and we do that corner very nicely, and we are up the up ramp. And I'm not focusing on where he is, I'm just focusing on what's ahead, trying my best just to take every corner as well as possible. And what I don't notice is he comes right up on the inside and down the down ramp, and now I'm in second place. I know it's not a race, but if it were, I would be in second place, and that makes me angry. So all I want to do here is just stay as close to him as possible, copy his line almost exactly, but see if there's any way I can gain some speed to maybe, just maybe, overtake him. He does go quite wide on these slaloms, but that doesn't really help me at all, and I can't confidently say that I'm taking them any better than he is. He knows he messes this corner up, so he does a little hand gesture just for me. At this point, I'm pretty pleased, to be honest. I'm staying so close to him, and I'm actually ever so marginally gaining speed and catching up on some of these corners. We've got to where he overtook me last lap, and I'm absolutely loving this at this point. I'm so pleased that I'm staying so close to him, and at the moment it feels like Mark and I are neck and neck with each other. Mark goes a little bit wide here, and then even wider here. I take the first inside of this S-bend, but that's not going to help me on the second. We come out of that unscathed, but he goes wide here and I get a really good opportunity, and luckily, because he's gone wide, I've got the inside line and I can just shoot straight forward. And I'm first again. But how long is it going to last? That's the question. I go way too wide here and really mess up this corner. But I'm still ahead, and I'm just trying to keep nice lines. Don't go unnecessarily into the barriers where you never have before. So that's not ideal, but rather brilliantly, and what we don't know and what you can't see here, is that Mark follows my line so closely that he goes straight into the barrier at exactly the same place. I kind of lose it a bit when I go around this corner, which isn't ideal when you're being chased. I have a little check over my shoulder and Mark is right there. He's done exactly what I did the last lap, and he's got the inside line, and for the second time he overtakes me. At this point I'm genuinely not too worried that he's overtaken me again, simply because I'm banking on being able to do exactly what I've just done for a second time. If you can do something, I can do it too. 0.162 seconds slower. I'm over it. It's fine. Now we're starting to come up to some back markers, and this is where things can get complicated. Mark tries to do a little overtake here, but bashes into one of the karters, immediately apologises for it. I feel like I almost get a really good opportunity here to take the inside line, but he closes it off really nicely. All these back markers could easily separate us, so I want to avoid, this is exactly what I want to avoid. So Mark does a really lovely job, and now he's starting to pull away and I'm a bit worried, but then I have no idea what happens there. I don't know why the driver went so wide, I'm not really sure where they lost it, but this is good news for me because now there's nothing separating me and Mark, and we have some clean air just to go karting again. But there are going to be more and more back markers on the horizon if the second session is anything like the first, and we're the fastest two drivers on the track. Now Mark is starting to pull away a little bit, but I can see two back markers he's coming up to, which I am hoping will slow him down just a little bit for me to get a bit closer so that I could just join this group of three. Mark takes a nice inside line, and he's aggressive enough to grab that space from the kart in front of him. And now we're a nice 4-carriage train. Generally, if I'm going through this section and I'm behind someone, I am not interested in overtaking. I just want to get through unscathed, and I want to try and find an inside line on this corner. Ooh, kart 21 goes a little bit wide there, and I slow down and give him a little bit of a bump. But Mark has got through these two back markers, and I still have to overtake them. Once again, I'm in full racer mode, and I am in switchback zone. I go a little bit wide to try and get him on the switchback, and then I do another little switchback, and that's really good! I'm pretty proud of that one, I've got to be honest. But we've still got one more kart to go, and to be honest, we're kind of losing Mark. On that straight, we did have a little look over to see where he was, and he's already pulling away. Now you know how I said I have no interest in overtaking on this bit? I get a lovely opportunity here and I'm still in race mode, so I totally take it. Now I haven't given up the idea that I can still catch Mark. I'm relying on the back markers in front of me to go as slowly as possible to really hold him up. And as we go around this corner, it looks like he has hit a bit of traffic, so that is promising. So all I can do is just try and get my lines nice and neat, but I can already see that he's doing a great job of overtaking and getting past all the drivers in front of him. This means, of course, all those drivers are now in front of me. Now the first few laps were a lot of fun, racing with Mark, but I'm yet to put in a lap time on this second session with green lights and no traffic. So as fun as the racing was, I need to think about my own race and putting in a good lap time with ideally no other racers involved. Speaking of racers, we've got 3 challengers right here. Now I've got the inside line on this corner, so I just need to take it easy. Now this first corner I'm copying 22's line, but on this second corner I'm again trying to go a bit wide so I can cut inside and get that inside line. Now it's time to be brave on the down ramp, and I'm aggressive enough on the inside line to take that space. The kart head goes wide and I do a bit too, but I'm still foot to the floor, keeping pace, no interest in braking, and keep my control as I take him on this corner. Now I've been working on my aggression and I've got to pat myself on the back for those last 2 overtakes. That was just full throttle, get out of my way, I've got somewhere to be, driving. Now at this point I'm still thinking I haven't had a fully clear green lap to get a good lap time in. So I'm having a look ahead as I go around this corner, and all I can see is one go-karter in front of me, and hopefully if we do catch up to that driver, which may not happen, it's not guaranteed, we've had a good day so far, but we're staying humble, and if we do end up catching them up, then also hopefully I'm able to get through painlessly and without taking up too much time. All of that chat is kind of irrelevant anyway, because what's about to happen is we're going to go on to reds. And we're going to stay here for a while. It felt like 5 minutes, but apparently it was only like 50 seconds. So we're just going to speed ahead. So we've actually sped up to the next lap where I got past kart 2, and it's green lights and there's no traffic in front of us. And I'm actually just going to let you enjoy, commentary free, oh, and spoiler alert, my fastest lap of session 2. So for the first time in session 2, I got a whole wonderful, lonely, green lit lap. And actually for the rest of the session, I didn't encounter any other drivers. So we're going to skip to the end and see exactly how fast that fastest lap was. Did it beat my first session best lap time? Did it beat Mark? Did it do neither, and as a result I vowed never to step foot inside a kart again? Find out next week on... I'm kidding, let's find out right now. Now I'm going to go through exactly what my thought process was looking at this for the first time. Something's wrong with the screen. Their lap times are broken. I've got about 0.03 seconds faster than Mark. I don't know why he's coming up as... Oh, yeah, he's gone a second faster than me. So despite my small improvement of 0.4 seconds, Mark absolutely blitzed it, improving his time, and I've got to take my hat off to that. And I'll happily take second fastest once more. But the real winner today, let's face it, was go-karting. I love go-karting, and it's a very new recent love. And roughly every 3 weeks, you can find me at TeamSport in Eastleigh. So there'll be a lot more videos to come, and I'm certain a lot more battles with my karting companions. Oh, and if you like this video, I wanted to give a shout out to Perico Karting's YouTube channel. His content is always great, and he's a big inspiration for me to start filming and uploading my sessions. Everything I do, I'll be uploading right here, so please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Oh, and just a massive thank you for watching this in the first place.